welcome back to episode 7 of the Elder Trolls Gaming Podcast. I'm Nasty Nate.
And I am Take It Easy John.
And I am Dandalf the Wise.
All right, we've got a show for you today.
Hey, how about those new heads, those new logos that we got?
Oh, yes. I found a professional on Fiverr.com. Those
cost $5.
Okay.
It cost $5 each. No, was it $5? No, it was $20 total Canadian. $20 total Canadian. But it was for 3 of us, so it was like $6 each or $7 each or something.
I'm sure it takes him no time to do. Like he's probably got like a really easy.
These people are.
You sent him pictures of us?
They're like.
No, I know.
Beep.
You sent him pictures? Okay. He probably just like made the heads bigger, like did a rough outline. Like he's probably got a quick way of just doing it that is like a common formula that he just does for
Matt
everyone.
would be able to tell us. He always knows.
I'm sure.
He put it into Photoshop. He
because
they
kind of look
with
similar, right? They
brush.
kind of look like he uses like the same nose or the same.
Mine looks the most like me.
Yeah,
yours looks really good. I liked it. It's because it's got more of like a surprised weird look on your face.
I look crazed. Yeah, I look like a exaggerated expression.
Last week's episode, all video clips.
Yeah,
I wonder if people enjoyed that. I don't know. Watching us in action, watching some.
I thought it was cool.
Some trailers.
I thought it was cool. I think
maybe we should play more stuff that we're talking about, like even during regular episodes. Just play more of that stuff.
Like while we're talking about a game we're playing, we play an extended clip of us playing it.
Yeah, can do that.
Okay. I've been capturing a lot of Gran Turismo 7, but it's not very exciting, right? It's just a race.
Like you see one from that, you see it all.
Especially that Mini Cooper race. That was fucking brutal.
That was exciting.
I didn't watch that. I forgot all about that.
What about the Volkswagen bus one? I had to do like a mission.
Oh, God.
It was Fiat, wasn't it? It wasn't Mini Cooper. It was a Fiat, wasn't it?
It was a mini car cup or something.
Yeah, it was Fiat 500 maybe.
Fiat.
Oh.
It was the slowest.
It was very boring.
Race.
Very slow.
It was like, and if you start going up a little hill, you're just like
it just stops.
Down.
You just
like,
crawl.
That's why I said put it in manual transmission. You drop the gear down and you go. You go faster.
See, I couldn't do that with the automatic
because it won't switch in automatic. So, Nathaniel, you finally watched Spider-Man. We're going to talk about that at the end of the episode.
Yes.
So,
I did.
Spoiler alert later. We'll let you know.
We'll let you know.
We'll remind you.
Because we gotta talk about it, and we didn't want to text about it because that's annoying, and I hate texting. I just want to talk about it.
Much better to talk, to chat.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
Chat.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end, but we'll make sure if no one wants to get spoiled, then you shut the podcast down.
So do we have? We don't have any clips, to show.
No, I got no clips today. Unless you guys want to see
begin?
Unless you guys want to see some slow Gran Turismo racing.
I have a pretty cool clip actually of that final zone in that one diamond lobby game. Did you watch that?
No. Okay, yeah, throw it up.
This clip is about a minute long, but it's an end game in one of the diamond lobbies me and Shim were playing in, and there's like 4 squads left in a super small circle, and it just goes to the very end. Okay, because there's a team above us that can't get to us, so we're kind of just trying to survive to be the last team standing. So this is kind of the countdown.
You can see the circle in the top left, Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
So we're getting underneath here. We're getting some cover. And there's a team above us on top of the roof, right? There's 3 squads left.
You have heat shields?
So there's another team sending us right now because they need to get the position, right? So they're battling us for the position. And we fucked them up, basically. This guy's got self-res. We're just kind of... Oh, and the team on top is a rev team, so they just rev ulted us, which means they get like a second life almost. Like a respawn. And we sent them back. So now they can't come back. See the circle? The circle is shrinking.
It's done. But is it still shrinking now?
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
wow.
it's like so there's a team directly above us, and we just have to basically survive longer than they do, and we have self-reses, and heat shields, so we're trying to heat shield ourselves.
Yeah, but would you not be heat shielding them up there?
No, they would be heat shielding us though if they heat shielded.
Oh, okay.
So see our teammate here, he's healing, and we're just trying to survive. I was looking for another heat shield. I went down, but I have self-revive. Well, I have a self-revive, so we're still alive technically, even though we're all dead, and when we just win because the other team... and this guy's like, let's go!
I remember that was tense when I played a handful of Apex matches. That were cool. It was
And
kind of
that's
fun
just
when
kind
that
of what
happened.
it's like. That's what's like in like more of like a competitive, I guess, competitive Apex, like when the pro players play tournaments and stuff. It usually comes down to like that. Whereas it's all in like the last very dying second sometimes, and it goes insane when people are like actually, you have like 3 teams sometime who are actually fighting. They're not like above or below each other. They're actually sitting there fighting, using knockdown shields, hiding behind them, like flying
Oh,
up
yeah.
in the air. Like it
That's
was
cool.
hilarious.
Tense.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Oh yeah, it was tense. That's
Cool.
why, like, but if we don't have those self
think-
reses, because we all got knocked, right? Which means we're all down, but one of us has a self revive that we can revive, so we're still in the game. But maybe the
Right,
guys
yeah.
above didn't have a self revive, or only one of them did, so they didn't survive as long, and then we just won because we had that self res. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, so as you guys know, tax season came and robbed me of all my VR savings.
Oh yes.
Because I owed a lot more taxes than I thought I did. I thought I'd have like a little bit left over to put towards my VR, but there ain't nothing left there. So VR is getting put on hold. I was looking at, I know you're not going to like this, but I was looking at the Oculus Quest 2. And I was seeing if people, I was seeing
Is that
if
the Facebook
people,
one?
yeah, the Facebook one. But
Mm.
like everything I'm reading, it's a really good piece of tech. Now, I was reading, I was like, oh, can't I just use like the Elder Trolls podcast Facebook? But then no, because we don't log into the Elder Trolls podcast Facebook, right?
I mean,
So then I was like,
yeah, you do.
can I make like a fake Facebook and
Why
just
can't you
use
log
that?
into the Elder Trolls one?
Because it's a page, it's not an account. It's
Oh.
a page we manage.
You
Yeah.
have to log in via your login to get to
Yeah.
it.
And apparently they ban people. They ban people's Oculus accounts and Facebook accounts if you put fake Facebook accounts to activate your Oculus. Like, what the fuck, man? So I was like, no, that's just the nail in the coffin. Not going to do that. So I'm going to write some letters to Sony, and I'm going to beg them to make the PSVR 2 PC compatible. It has to be. It's got to be.
You're gonna write to them,
Yeah, I'm going to write them a little letter. Love
Mr.
letter.
Sony, dear Mr. Sony. Didn't he name the company after his daughter?
Mr. Sony, this
no
letter came for
founder.
you.
The founder of Sony. Sony
It's like,
was
oh,
his-
let me see. Oh, yes, the Elder Trolls Gaming Podcast sent me a letter.
I think he named it the company after his daughter, the guy who founded Sony.
I don't know.
Was it
But,
the Japanese
I don't know
guy?
why. It's like Wendy's, like Dave
But can you
Thomas.
guys think of a downside for Sony making the PSVR 2 PC compatible? Would
Well,
there
when
be
you
a
say-
downside?
When you say PC compatible, why don't you explain what that entails? Like, what does that mean to you? PC compatible.
Because the PSVR 2 will have USB-C port,
Okay.
which will
Mhm.
plug into the PS5 with. So you take that and plug it into a PC. Can I play Steam VR games with it? Can I play VR
I
games?
see.
You would need.
So you don't
Steam
think
to
that-
also make it compatible?
Yeah, but like, I don't see a downside for Sony by getting that ironed out, because people would buy the set for PC and then later down the road be like, oh, why don't I get a PS5 as well so I can just interchangeably use this headset on both
I suppose.
pieces of hardware, right?
How much is the
And-
set, the VR set?
We don't know yet. I think it's going to be around the same as the Oculus Quest 2, which is like $600. So
Okay.
I think Sony has a real good chance to take some of that market share from Facebook if they make it PC compatible. You know what I mean? Because right now, everyone has a Quest 2. Like, fucking everybody has one. It's like 80% of the market share or something like that, 70% is people on VR are using, because it's so cheap, right?
That's
and it's pretty decent.
Of selling your soul.
Yeah.
The only thing, but it doesn't make sense because if you're still buying it and it's pretty much the same price as a console anyway, I don't see why they wouldn't consider it because it's its own product, Sony product that people are still going to be buying anyway. So it's not like it has to be exclusive to PlayStation so that they'll be like, well, we want you playing PlayStations with it though. That wouldn't make much sense. So I don't know. Who knows?
But it is Sony, right? Sony does some stupid fucking things.
I guess so.
Like not allowing crossplay on a lot of games for dumbass reasons, right? But it would be smart for them to make their new headset PC compatible. It would be smart because it would open the door for people. Yep, it would open those doors for people to want to get a PS5 as well as have a PC, I think.
Could argue
So let's hope
that the other way too. You could argue it that people won't want to buy PS5s because they can just use it on their PC.
Yeah, but they're still selling hardware to PC enthusiasts.
Well, that's it. If it's still like a $600 product, like at least they're making fucking money.
Yeah,
that's almost
like
as much as a PS5.
You wouldn't sell it to other like PC. You wouldn't sell it to PC users if you don't have it compatible with PC users. I'm just hoping they do it so I don't have to buy a Facebook one, because the Facebook one is literally 50% less. It's half the cost of the Valve Index. And everyone says it, you know, the Valve Index is great. It has the nice wide view, which is better than the resolution per eye. A lot of people would rather the wider view angles, but they said for that extra $700, it's not worth the upgrade to the Valve Index. So people just go get the Quest 2, and everyone's really happy about it. So,
$700.
Yeah, man.
Difference, like that's a lot.
Valve Index with all the bells and whistles with the room tracking and all that shit's $1,400.
And you have to have like the space to do it. Fuck. That's kind of annoying.
So I'm hoping to hear some more information on the PSVR 2.
I guess we'll find out.
I got a lot of retweets on that too. So hopefully my retweets hit Sony.
Wait, you tweeted at Sony? Or you're writing them a letter?
Well, I'll write them a letter.
Did you tweet them? Did you tweet at them? Do you know how to use Twitter?
You twit?
Did you? It's like, wait a minute. I just wrote it in Notepad. And I tagged
emailed it.
Write emails, write
at
letters.
Sony.com. Mr. Sony at Sony.com. That's his address, right?
Man, I'm so out of touch. I don't even know if I'm doing the Twitter thing right. Like, no fucking clue. Just hashtag.
It looks good to me.
Hashtag everything.
When I go,
but I have to at people if I want their attention.
Hash brown
right?
it and send it to the internet.
But that's my thoughts on that.
I was gonna say I'd like to start streaming more on the podcast channel, but I don't have like a second monitor to watch the chat, you know what I mean?
Use your tablet.
Yeah, I would have to like use. I guess I could use my iPad, but it would be like kind of off to the side.
Because whenever I had my tablet, there's an app you can get to make it a second monitor. I plug it in USB.
Yeah, I guess
on the computer or wirelessly even, and you can make.
I don't even need to do that really. I can just log into Twitch, right?
Or YouTube,
or YouTube, and just go to the page, and I can see everybody chatting. So if people are chatting,
you can do that on your phone too. What's nice about the PS5? What's nice about the PS5 streaming is it reads the fucking text to you. When you're when you're playing PS5, it's like I was like testing. It's like testing. I was like, oh shit, sweet. So you don't have to look for the chat anywhere.
Imagine you were like
It
a
reads it to
popular
you.
streamer and you have hundreds of people sending these text messages and
Just
it's like
reading
blah
to
blah
you.
blah blah blah.
Automated.
Robot,
That would be funny.
fucking reading everything to you. You're like, okay, no. That's when you say, that's when you get people who pay. You'd have to have a donation to get your text, your chat message read. That's what I think most people do. So yeah, donate.
That's insane.
You pay $2 and then your chat will be read to on the stream by a robot and pop up and whatever. That's what they do.
Wow.
But we streamed some enlisted. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Like an hour
Oh,
and a
the
half.
other night when you guys played,
Yes, it was fun.
We should do that.
Are you
soon.
smacking?
are you enjoying it?
There's
like
some
it.
things that really.
It's kind of wonky, but it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. It's.
I like
I
just
feel
the
like there's
quick
there's an
scoping
element
with
of
that
comedy.
fucking car 98. Bow, bow,
Like
bow. Just
half
killing bots.
half the time, my shots don't even register on those fucking guys.
Yeah, I have.
Like whenever you're really close to someone and you're no scoping them, like
hip fire.
I'm like my barrel of my rifle is on your fucking chest. How is this not shooting you?
Or you go to
I
finish
haven't
somebody
had a
who's
problem.
like trying to bandage themselves back, and I'm like douche and trying to shoot them.
Yeah,
and it's not.
it's
It's not
actually-
hitting them.
That's happened.
I'm like
That has
die,
happened to me before.
die. then
And I
one
don't know
shot
what the
him.
melee button is.
Yeah, me either. I don't know what any of the buttons are.
I think it's just melee. Can you do like a rifle butt, right stick in or something?
I think you have to. Maybe
Or do you
switch
have to go to
no,
your
there's
knife?
a melee button. There's a melee button.
There's
Or you
gotta
can
be.
switch to your knife and
Yeah,
like,
there is.
stab them.
It's somewhere. I don't know what
I
it
don't
is.
remember.
Anyway, yeah.
I
So
don't remember.
turn
Joey,
on notifications.
leave a comment if you know if you know what melee is.
But if
Well,
people
he's on
turn on
Xbox.
your notifications, you'll get
No.
a notification when we go live. I think so.
I don't go live often.
Yes.
It's whenever I can like sit down for 2 hours and not be bothered by.
I'm not equipped.
Anything.
I'm barely equipped for this podcast, let alone friggin' streaming.
You have a PS5 and an Xbox. It streams right to YouTube. You just hit broadcast. You set your broadcast options. 1080p.
You have to sign in
60
the options,
FPS.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your internet is garbage. So
Oh yeah, your internet's shit. So maybe
I also don't
720p,
play-
30 frames per second.
I guess
240p.
People like watching it.
Go for 240p,
Yeah.
a nice blob of pixels, and people would love
Look
it.
at the detail in this game, man. The graphics are awesome.
Yeah, the PS5 looks really good.
But yeah, we'll try to get some more streaming going on. It's pretty fun. I had a buddy said he actually watched my entire AoE 2
Who's
Tournament
watching
match.
that? Nobody's watching that. Gillis, what are you doing?
Kami
Gillis?
Caboose.
What are you doing? Fall asleep? Maybe he was falling asleep.
No, he said he said it was pretty sweet. It was a good win. Good win on my team. It was a good win. We still have to finish that
There's,
tournament. I think we have one match left.
There
But
is a
I'm really bad at that
notification,
game now.
Hey,
By the
Daniel?
way, whenever you guys start streaming, there is a notification because it happened to me the other night. I was just watching TV on the couch and you guys were streaming Enlisted, and I got it on my phone. I was like,
Click
so it
on
comes out,
it.
for sure.
You should have watched
Yeah,
it on
sure.
your TV.
Yeah, we had
So
five.
I think it was in the
viewers or
middle of
something.
something. I don't know what it was, but I was watching something.
Hmm.
We had like 5 or 7
Anyway.
viewers.
I can confirm it is true.
All right, that's my little thing I had going on there.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all I had about the stream.
Yeah. So now we can
So?
go into
Shall move
Game
on
time.
to game time.
game
Game
time.
time. Get some of those titles come up. Yeah.
I actually don't
Uh,
have anything for game time.
I
Should
had
get-
a
really
couple
been playing
notes about
anything
some
new.
stuff. It's
Just enlisted.
I don't have anything new. I just have a couple things that I was going to talk about, just small little points that I found or stumbled on or whatever with Cyberpunk as I'm playing more. Little things, because I remember Nathaniel mentioned one of them before. So I've still been playing Cyberpunk. I've been trying to log hours into the story because I got to finish it. But I finally found, because with the new update, whatever, you've got some different graphics and stuff, which, and again, this is going to remind me to say something to Nathaniel about this, but finally found a good HDR setting in game that works with my television. Because when I started playing the friggin' thing, I was just fiddling, and I don't know. And I was even doing that on older versions of Cyberpunk, like the previous gen. And I was just like fiddling and fiddling and fiddling, and they're trying to play story missions and hear dialogue, and I'm like pausing it to change the graphics. I'm like, no, I still don't like it, whatever.
You're fiddling
But now
with the
I
in-game
finally,
settings?
yeah, like the HDR, you know what? And
I don't think you
there's
should
a couple
really touch
different
any
settings.
of that. You should probably use your TV
No, you
settings.
have to. No, the TV's fine. It's got because you have to
I've
find
got
a
a lot
compromise.
to talk about HDR later on, boys. I got a lot to say
Keep that
about
in
it,
your
okay?
pocket.
Speaking of this, but yeah.
Well, the thing is, Cyberpunk has a couple options, and they've got like a tone mapping point setting, which I keep at 50, which sounds kind of low, but it's like the base brightness of the game. But I found that keeping it at 50 with like 1,000 nits, even though my TV probably doesn't do that much, I don't know. There's nice because at night it looks like nighttime with the lights and everything looks great, and the rain on the road and everything looks awesome. And so I finally found something that works. And during the day, it's like nice and bright, and it's not overexposed or anything like that. So finally, I found something that I like, and I can just kind of play it and enjoy. And Nathaniel mentioned you didn't have HDR settings on your PlayStation version.
Yeah, unless they patched it. But every time I'd go into graphics, it said HDR none.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
You
because
have
I
the
had it on
HDR
my
input turned on your TV? Are you sending HDR to your TV?
Oh, maybe it's a television thing.
Because on your TV, sometimes in the menu in the settings, there's an option on the HDMI port that you're using to enable.
Are you fucking kidding me?
HDR, or yeah, to enable it. Yeah.
So I might not even be using HDR.
At all,
Maybe.
whatsoever.
Holy fuck! I better check that then.
Oh, maybe that's why. Why does his graphics look better than mine?
But you're on
that-
Xbox, Daniel, right?
Oh, that was PC though, eh? Yes, I'm on Xbox. So anyway, I just found that weird because on PlayStation, even my version with the previous gen, I had an HDR setting on PlayStation, so I don't know why you wouldn't. Anyway, I just thought I would bring that up again because I find that weird. But anyway,
Check that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I will.
Also, the sensitivity controls. Remember, I was struggling with those. I was like trying to like find something because again, I just liked it better on PlayStation. The sticks are just better, and so on Xbox they seem a little loosey goosey. The sticks are kind of just like wah, and they're kind of just loose and like
There's no tension.
soft. Yeah. So
too
I've been
light.
just struggling with finding some sensitivity controls that I like, but I finally think I found some because in Cyberpunk there's these weird controls that there's like turning delays and stuff, which is a weird concept.
It adds it. You could add delay to your turning. Like, why would you want that?
But I think it's because if you crank the sensitivity and you go to turn, it's like whoosh. But the turning or the ramp up time and the delay allow you to at least turn a little bit if you need to before it goes full swing or whatever. That must be the only reason.
It's a curve. It's a curve.
Yeah.
So
I turned all that shit off.
I'll put a graphic on the screen, but it's a curve, an input curve that you can change in a lot of games. A lot of FPS have it where it's low at the beginning and then ramps up so that you can kind of move the stick more to make small adjustments, and it won't move it like a lot.
Yeah.
But the more you crank it over, then it starts to ramp up. Some people
that
don't
works
like it.
in
Some
tandem
people use a linear.
dead zones, I guess.
Well, dead zone is
right?
before that even happens, right? So the dead zone is like
Oh.
the initial moving of the stick before it registers. So if you have no dead zone, then any little movement you input will be sent to the game. Whereas if you have like a 2% dead zone, it's not gonna
And I never
register the
never
initial
considered
2%.
any of that. But you can change it all. You can adjust all that in Cyberpunk, which is cool. But it just takes some experimenting to get something you like. Because I finally did, and I was like, I think that'll work. But it's
like
cool
any
because
game.
even on console,
I've
it
been
makes
fiddling
things.
I've been fiddling with that shit on Apex and across PS5, Xbox, PC, and none of them. Like if you have the same settings on one, it's not the same on the other because the controller is different.
Yep.
PC feels better with controller because the input is faster.
Yep.
Like I just feel way better on PC. It's just a quicker input than on console.
See, I wouldn't
it's
know
weird.
I wouldn't have
Like
an
it feels
idea
so
because
sluggish and gross. Even
That
on
could be your TV
PS5.
too, though.
Maybe, yeah.
The
The input
the
lag.
response time on the TV.
Yeah,
Input
that's
lag
true.
response time.
Maybe I'll try game mode. I have it in game mode downstairs. But yeah. Yeah, it's
at
a
least
whole thing. It's a whole thing.
at least it makes things like, because even if you do find a good compromise on console and you're still not crazy about it, but it's like the best you can do, at least it adds some challenge to like combat. Because I find that I imagine playing on PC. I was like, man, this would be so easy if I was just kind of playing on PC. All these guys would be dead in fucking like 20 seconds. But on Xbox, I'm like overshooting, boom, blowing lights off the walls, and like
Try
I don't know,
playing
it just makes
against
it more...
other players like that, man. That's what
can't.
feel like.
I can't even
That's what
fathom.
I feel like on Xbox with
Ugh.
Apex. I'm the worst player on the
It is
controller.
frustrating.
No,
I'm
I'm
just
pretty
like-
bad.
I'm
I'm pretty fucking bad.
I'm
Actually,
being
I'm
shot.
not too
Where am
bad.
I being shot from?
And you're like turning around slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And shooting at the same
Well-
time.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Whatever.
Oh, man.
Like I feel
Uh,
like an
oh.
idiot.
My next point was street cred. Remember, Nathaniel, you were like, what does that even do? Okay, well,
Yeah.
I just stumbled on this, and I feel like I should have known this earlier because it's just right there in front of me, but I never like put the cursor over and read the blurb. But in the game, when you look at the different levels of your street cred rewards and shit, at the bottom left corner, I think, of your skills trees and stuff, they different levels, it says like it tells you what each, I guess, tier of street cred rewards, and that's like vendors will have more items, blah 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 blah. and all
Oh,
this
really?
shit, right? And I was like, oh, okay, so that's what it does. It, like I said initially in a previous episode, before the game release, there was that concept of it was going to affect how people see you and talk to you, whatever. I don't think that's the case still, but at least there is a reason for it. If you get more unlocked tiers, you'll find more, probably more advanced weapons and armor and shit, and you'll find more weapon and armor mods at stores and stuff like that. There's other ones too. I don't remember what they were, but that's what they do. So there are rewards for higher street cred.
How do you get it up?
You just keep doing shit. Just do all your NCPD reported crimes, gigs, everything.
Okay.
It just
Killing
and then you also have,
psychos.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
There's also weapon.
Actually, now I just beat them.
clothing
I
mods.
beat them. Yeah, I beat them down. I don't kill them anymore because you get more money.
Yeah, that's what I did the
Yeah,
first time
shit,
through.
that's
I
for
had
sure.
that little
And
attachment
you
on
probably
all my
get
stuff
more.
that says it's
Yeah, the
non-lethal.
attachment. Yeah.
Yeah, non-lethal attachment.
I see that attachment in my inventory. I just saw it last night. I was like, I'm not fucking putting that on.
Well, if you punch them with your gorilla arms,
Oh, they will
does that
die.
kill them? Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure I've done. I was like, it just fucking killed them.
So I'm like, pop, pop, and they're like,
Yeah.
and then they light on fire and then they fall over. I don't know. If
They light on
It's 'cause
fire
you got-
from you
Because
punching
you have
them.
burning chance. I think you have burning chance on
a
your
burning
fist.
thing on there.
The fists of fire, fists of flame.
An old friggin' martial arts movie. Anyway, that was it. I have one more thing I realized too, was that if for those of you playing, who might be or watching, I should say, who might be playing Cyberpunk, if you're looking for certain types of clothes, like culturally different or whatever, you can buy them at different stores in the city. So not like if you go to a clothing store in the Badlands, you're gonna find nomadic type
Yeah.
clothes, like ripped and torn and like ugly, earthy tones and shit, which is what I like. And then if you go to like, in the city at different boroughs, like if you go to Kabuki, I guess, which is like the little Japan town or whatever, you'll find different kind of tiger claws type clothes, which is one of the gangs in the game. And if you go all over, there's like, if you go to the clothing store in Corpo Plaza, you'll find like these suits.
Yeah,
like
I did that.
leather
Yeah.
shit, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool because I never noticed. I just never.
I just went on a
never clued in.
clothes buying shopping spree yesterday. I bought so much
Yeah.
clothes.
It's fun.
For
'cause,
my
like when
V.
you have all this cash, what are you gonna do? Just upgrade.
I've got nothing else to do on the PC.
I
version
never
of that game.
spent any of my money in that game.
I had like
There's
200,000.
so many cars to buy. I was like, I'm not buying these cars. Like, why?
Yeah, the cars are shit.
Buy these
Oh,
cars?
and I've got the
Driving
best.
is
really cool.
And I've got the best
Driving
motorcycles.
is horrible. Why would I want to buy?
Yeah.
Well,
Cars are
actually,
fucking bad.
okay, I have a point about driving that I also realized. It's not on my list, but that reminds me. Did you notice that there's definitely, because I don't remember how this is with Grand Theft Auto, for instance, but there's definitely an element of sensitivity. Like you can't just push that trigger pedal to the metal. You can't. Otherwise, you're going friggin' into walls. And like, if you crank the stick, it cranks the wheel. So you're like, and you spin out all the time. So you have to like really small movements and you can start driving better.
That's
so
realistic.
they definitely added an element of sensitivity.
I crank the trigger on the motorbike all the time. And then I just
you're going on a full stretch.
Full speed turn. Full speed turn.
Sure. You have to kind of, it's cool. Anyway, so that's why.
I love that.
That's all I got.
It's so fucking good.
It's great.
And then I just started doing a lot of the photo mode stuff recently. Just
that's a good photo mode.
It's a
good photo mode.
I think as a photographer, they could add some things, but fuck, man, Gran Turismo 7 photo mode is fucking sick. It's got like the shutter speed. It's got everything. Exposure settings.
Cool.
Very good.
Well, I was going to say that's probably because they recognize that like automobile photography is very much a thing. You know what I mean? So they have to really kind of go in because you can get some sweet action shots. Anyway, that's all I had for game time. That was I found a couple of points I wanted to put down for Cyberpunk.
Cool. I've got a couple of things. I've been playing a lot of Gran Turismo 7, and I'm loving it. I really am. It's fantastic. Before the patch that just put out the game for 30 plus hours, took the game down. But before that, it was amazing. I was online ranked matches, races. I was tuning my car. I was getting into it, Googling everyone how to tune this shit, all that stuff. So now I have a pretty good base of how to tune all my cars and get them ready for online matchmaking. And then you do the qualifying tracks and laps, and then you see what else you can tweak to kind of get that extra second out of your car. It's pretty sweet. I love that. Really cool.
Racing
but
engineering is cool.
In this game, everyone who is playing knows that when it launched, it was very difficult to get in-game credits. Like there was certain races that people were just farming, like race over and over and over and over again. Some people were making custom races that it was like an endurance race for like 7 hours, and they would tweak all the settings to get the maximum payout. So after a 7-hour race, so they'd go to bed, they'd turn this on, they'd tape their controller, they take the controller down so they could just drive for 7 hours, and in the morning they'd wake up with like 400,000 credits or whatever it is.
That doesn't seem worth it for 400,000.
Yeah, well, because it's definitely worth it. So you don't have to sit there and do race after race after race. Anyway,
I have like 500,000 credits. I didn't feel like it was that hard to get.
Well, now it's going to be even harder because they took the game down.
What do you spend these credits on? Is what I was going to say.
Cars and tuning your cars, like upgrades and stuff like that. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, they took the game down for maintenance for their 1.07 patch. They fucked it up. I don't know what they fucked up about it, but the patch was down for 30 plus hours. And while it was down, they're like, we might as well just implement the next patch, 1.08. While it's down for this long. Okay, so they did 2 patches.
Jeez.
After something's down for that long, I got kind of scared about my save file. Okay, as a tech background, IT background, something must have happened for them to keep that game down for 30 plus hours. Like they must have fucked something up pretty bad. So I was joking on Twitter. I was like, well, make sure my save game file's okay or something around those lines. And they tweeted back out after they got the game back up. They tweeted like, to make sure that the user's save files were not corrupted or lost, we had to take extra precaution and keep the game down for longer. So they could have easily wiped everyone's fucking save data.
Yikes.
Because of this shit that happened. While they were updating
locally
this,
as well?
No. It's GT7's online 100%. Or like 98% online. Yeah.
Bad idea.
Which is weird.
A lot of people do not like because you can't just go racing. You can't just go racing while they're patching it, right? It's online all the time, which is another thing. But
Which is why you don't have to like save and stuff too, though.
yeah.
It's always
So
auto save.
So after these patches, they've cut a lot of the race payouts, like the credit payouts, by like 50%. Some up to like 60%. Like, it's insane.
So they
Did
made
make
it
the cars
worse, is what
cheaper?
you're saying?
They made it worse. No, and they didn't touch the price of the cars.
Wow.
It's disgusting what they did. It's fucking awful. So they took this game that was already pretty hard to get credits, because if you want to buy like a $1 million car, right, which is like a really fancy, like whatever it is, McLaren, whatever, P1. If you want this car, you're like, oh, I'm almost there. I'm at like 600,000 credits. And then they put this patch out. Your grind to get that car has just been doubled, tripled even sometimes. Unless you want to go buy their microtransaction credits, where it's like $20 for 1 million credits, and then it's like $50 for 2.5 million credits or something like that. Like, it's insane.
Hey, man,
so now
that's what it's
I already
all about.
spent $98 on the game.
I
plus
know on the
tax.
game that they
But they
essentially
can
made
do
it
that
pay
now,
to
'cause
win.
if it's online, you can buy credits now.
They
more
essentially
value.
made it pay to win. So now all these kids who have their daddy's credit card or whatever, right? They're going to go spend $100 on credits and buy all the sweet cars, go online racing, and completely smash people that don't have the credits to buy these cars.
Oh yeah,
Like,
maybe.
Well,
and
shouldn't
or
they be in
upgrade
different
them.
races then?
No. Remember when I was telling you, when I was trying to do that one online race, there's this one car, it's 1 million credits that no one else had. He was the only one in the race that had this one car, and he smashed everybody. He was like 6 seconds ahead of everybody. Like, no one could catch him. But we were all in like the other car that is usually being used for that race, which is the Skyline.
What about the performance rating? Is it the same?
Yeah.
Well, they should probably just patch that.
I think
yeah.
that they're gonna get enough. Based on what you're saying, they're probably gonna get enough flack.
People are fucking pissed. They're not
Yeah.
happy right now.
And if they're worth their salt, they're gonna be like, well, okay. I mean, people want this, then we'll change it.
No, because he's like, oh, just wait. We have some plans in the future that will kind of offset this or balance this out in the future of future patches and content updates. I'm like, we
Alright,
want
so
to
who
get
knows how
credits
long.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want
Anyway.
it now.
Imperial credits.
That-
we'll do fine.
That really pissed me off. That really fucking pissed me off.
Nubian, huh?
You think you're some kind of Jedi waving your hand like that?
You look exactly like him.
No, they won't.
Watto?
Watto?
Watto.
Guado?
No.
Guano?
Watto.
I have another thing. I think all of you guys watched it. Was
Yes.
the
The Harry Potter. The Harry Potter?
yes.
Okay. Cool.
The Harry Potter.
Cool.
We'll put it up here in the
The-
background.
The
State of
Hogwarts
Play,
Legacy State of Play for PS5. What do you guys
What do
think?
you guys think?
I
Oh,
already asked you
Jake.
first.
I didn't watch all of it because I have a weird thing with seeing shit before I play it,
Ugh,
even
you're
though
such
it's a state of
fucking
play.
loser.
But, hey, I don't want shit to be.
Just
I
watch the
wanna
I
trailer.
play
watched some of
something.
it. I watched it because I didn't want to see everything about it. I watched up until like the people
I watched
started
it all.
talking and it showed.
It was halfway through, and I was like, okay, I think I've seen what I need to see. And yes, it's the same with movie trailers because I like to be surprised. But anyway, from what I did see, it looks pretty sweet. Graphics look
Yeah.
nice. I'm thinking that I didn't. Jonathan, you mentioned something about the scale of things, but I don't remember thinking that just because I don't. Maybe you watched more than me or whatever.
Well, I meant just like you'll be able to walk around Hogwarts, which is cool. It'll be like you're like you've obviously
Enrolled
seen
there.
yeah, but like you've already seen it in the movies, but only like certain backgrounds, certain
Sets.
spaces. Like in
Mhm.
here, you'll be able to walk around, and what I assume is going to be an exact replica of
Yep.
of the castle, which is cool.
It
and
looks exactly like the one from the movies. Like
yeah, so
I
you'll be
guess
able
that's
to
what they
like
modeled
walk
it.
around and see what it actually looks like from every angle, which is cool.
Mhm.
see the different
Their
house,
interpretation of
the
it.
different houses you'll be able to see, which we never really saw in the movie.
Yeah,
like
the
what
common
is
rooms and shit.
yeah the common room? What does the Slytherin common room look like? Did they ever show
Well,
that in the
we
movie?
did
Maybe
see that.
briefly,
Yeah,
briefly in the
it was
movie,
in
but and the Ravenclaw
Chamber
and the
of Secrets.
Hufflepuff, Hufflepuff common rooms, all that kind of thing. Pretty cool. And you get to design
it
your own
looks sick.
wizard. The graphics look fucking sweet.
Mhm.
It definitely looks
they were
better
talking about
than the last video I saw.
you'll be able to
of it.
go like into the Forbidden Forest. What's beyond the Forbidden Forest? Like you know what that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It should be
Did
cool.
they show a map?
And I think
No, I
J.K.
didn't see
Rowling
that.
is helping with like the lore and all that stuff behind it, so it'll be
That'd be
pretty
cool.
accurate. Yeah, I don't know. It looked amazing. I thought it looked sick. Like just the way they were flinging the spells
Yeah.
and like the effects. It was very nice.
I assume it's
I'm
going to be
not
like
pretty pumped.
you can equip. You're going to be able to equip spells to your buttons, like, and you'll have to build like a spec,
Like
maybe.
a rotation. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Right.
and
That's
I wonder
sweet.
if you'll be able to use unforgivable curses.
Yeah, because you know what? On
Fucking
every single button
Crucio.
is going to be
Yeah, just killing
I
everybody.
don't know. I doubt you're going to be able to use
Crucio.
them freely. There's
Yeah,
no
just
way that they're
torturing
just going to
everybody.
let you use.
It'd be
them
like a
freely. There's
cooldown.
probably
Or a special
no,
bar.
not even that. I bet there's probably something in the game that they like. You probably can at some
You
point,
know what
but
would
I
be
bet there's a
sick?
special circumstance.
if it's like a fable. If they do like a fable where you can turn to like a
You create
evil wizard,
Horcruxes and shit.
fuck, that would be
That
so
would be
sick.
awesome.
That would be
You
so
have
sick.
19 Horcruxes. You're just
And
like
you
a
look all
shriveled,
fucked up like Voldemort.
yeah, shriveled
can kill
fucking
you.
wizard.
Yeah, man, that would be sweet.
There's a
No, I'm
lot
looking
they
forward
could
to that
do.
one. The real question is,
I'm
what should I
definitely
get it
getting that one.
for? PS5 or PC? Because it is being released on all platforms on launch day.
Mm,
It is not a PS5 exclusive.
I might get
Did
it for
somebody think it
PS5.
was?
Yeah, I thought a lot of people thought it was.
Just so I can play it on the couch, I'd probably
I
get it on
figured it was
PS5.
just
I don't want
definitely Xbox for me.
almost likely get it for PS5. I don't like playing controller games at PC. I don't like it.
Can
I
you
keep
stream?
forgetting you don't have a Series X.
Yeah.
No, I have a 1X right over there that's collecting dust
I also have a 1X.
that I have Valhalla on, and I want to play it again, but I don't think I'm gonna like it.
Valhalla! What
Why not? Oh, right.
Valhalla, yeah, Valhalla. Yeah.
It's good. It's good. The 30 FPS is also fine in that. It's not as good as
I might get
it's
it
not
for
as
Nintendo
unnoticeable.
Switch.
Yeah.
I'm sure it looks
Is
great
it
on
out for
Nintendo
that?
I'm
Switch.
sure it looks fucking great.
Like-
Speaking of, actually, that reminded me, Jonathan. Is Pam still playing Animal Crossing?
I think she might be playing right now. Not
Oh,
sure.
Did she tell
Although
you
she
how she's enjoying it?
She hasn't played in a while that I've seen. She's been playing Final Fantasy 14 again.
Oh,
She's-
okay.
She got Bravely Default 2
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
yeah.
for
those.
Switch as well. So she
Nice.
was playing that as well.
Supposed to be pretty good.
But another thing is, in Animal Crossing, do you accelerate like the season, or is it always just the same as what it is outside in the real world?
It's real time. It's real
So-
time.
So you have to wait through fucking winter to get like stuff in the summer in the game. That seems
Well,
so
no,
dumb.
it doesn't. It doesn't. The thing is, because of that, they weren't so ruthless as they were in, let's say, Harvest Moon or whatever, where you can't grow certain things because if you plant crops, if you buy crops from Buddy who shows up at your island, who they actually were inspired by Bob Ross with, because he says like happy little
Selling you
bushes.
happy little
Here to buy
bushes.
some happy little bushes. But like if you buy shit from him and plant them in the summer or in the winter, I should say, they grow. They still grow through the winter, so you don't get penalized because of the seasons. There's nothing like it's just seasonal shit for fun that comes out. Like, they have little items available in the store that are summer only or shit like that. There's nothing really that limits your playing. But yeah, it's real time. They have a date, I think, where they remove the snow, and I think it was second week of March or something, because now it's
Oh.
all gone. There's no snow.
Okay.
Everything's nice and bright and green. But yeah, I think from December to March they'd have snow on the ground. Moving on.
Do we move on?
That's it.
Do we move on to
Nerd news?
tech toys?
Anybody? Tech toys, nerd news, either or.
Oh yeah, no new games coming out. That's exciting.
Just the
you
Hogwarts
guys?
I
thing.
think we
That's all.
Yeah.
covered it, really, yeah.
I wanted to say for tech toys, I almost had a new tech toy. I almost ordered that Alienware
Oh.
QD OLED monitor.
Oh.
I was like,
But now you want
do
the
I
TV
do
instead
it?
now, or what?
I chickened out. I chickened out because I also want the TV, which come out like next month. The new TVs come out, and I don't know. I don't think I could get both. And then
That's
I checked again
that's a bit
on the.
much.
I checked again on the monitor. Like after I chickened out, I checked on the website, and then it said it wouldn't be delivered until like June. I was like, fuck. So I missed it because it said, like when I first looked, it said it would have been delivered in March.
Yeah.
And like just hours
snooze,
later, it
you
was
lose,
like
bro.
June. I was like, fuck. So yeah, chickened out on a tech toy. It would have been sweet. The QD OLED monitor looks awesome. It looks, and it's getting like rave reviews.
Fuck
The first like OLED, or first QD OLED panel on market, like to market.
That's the curved one, right? Is that the big curved one?
It's curved, 34-inch, ultra wide. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, I have a tech
Hold on.
toy.
Oh,
Okay.
what?
The Next Mind. You guys know what the Next Mind is?
Next Mind?
It's
No.
a
Is that one of them
VR
realistic-
mind
Realistic
control.
dolls?
It's a VR mind control brain scanner
I've seen
that you
some
can-
stuff like this.
that you can control the game with your mind.
Yeah,
Brainwaves?
I've
Sweet.
seen this. They don't really. You don't.
This
they
one
only-
works, though.
They only have like demos of it though, right? That go with it, and it kind of, it's like making a
Yeah.
ball bigger,
But-
or making a fireball bigger.
Yeah,
or
but this guy's like playing the games, the demos on the thing. It's like it maps your brain waves, right? So to shapes, I guess. So it maps your brain waves to different shapes, and then while you're playing the demos, the shapes will show up for what you need to do in the level. So like you're fighting a bunch of aliens, and you can like blow their heads up with your mind. So you like
Okay,
look
wait.
at them and
You
you like.
you own this tech toy, or this is just something you saw?
No,
This
this
is
is something I was
something
looking into.
Oh,
I was looking into
okay.
it. Yeah.
Well,
You
Tech
blow them up with
toys.
your mind.
I guess mine. I don't own it, but I almost bought it.
I could buy this right now. It's only it's only $300.
I could buy this.
But it like clips on the back of your your.
It's
hat.
it's like a tiara with like
No, it's like a.
Ooh.
I'll send a
Brain-
picture for you to put it up.
A brain
But
dance
it's just-
wreath.
It just clips on the back of
Brain
your headset,
dance.
like your VR headset, and it has these little mushies that press against your brain, like the back of your head.
Mushies.
Yeah, like these little
Mushy
cushiony-
brain.
They press up, and then you
Push
map
up
it all
against your
out.
brain.
I don't know. It looked pretty cool. And then he could he was like blowing up all these aliens with his mind. He's like, man, this is. He's like, It's like all these heads are like
That's
exploding.
fucking
Yeah,
weird.
it was pretty cool.
That's strange.
And
I
then,
mean, It's just like, I guess, electrical kind of
yeah, because
signals.
what- when you're
waves.
playing games, your eye is just the middleman, right? Like your brain controls and does everything else.
Yeah.
So when your eyes take that information, it gets sent to the whatever part of your brain that does that.
Yeah, but
So you
mean
need your eyes.
hands are the middleman.
your hands.
Because they
yeah.
do the controls.
Well,
The
how are you
eyes
going to do
are
the controls if you
visual.
can't see?
The input.
Well, they work in hand in hand.
I don't
Hands
think
with
they'll
eyes
ever
are the
be able to
middleman.
really map brainwaves to like specific inputs, like walking
doesn't make any
around.
That's
sense.
what this thing is.
don't
That's
think
what this
so.
thing will do.
Because you only
So
have a
it'll-
certain amount of brainwaves. There's only 5, isn't there? Brainwaves. So
Something
even
like
if
that.
What?
they map, I think there's only 5 different types of brainwaves, isn't there? I don't
Theta,
fucking
beta,
know.
alpha.
I'm not a brain scientist. I
Well,
look like a fucking
you can
brainiac.
be if you
I'm
get
just
the
saying,
next
if
mind.
there's only 5 brainwaves, let's say, for example, they can only detect a brainwave and map it to something for an input. So that would only be basically 5 buttons that you can
What?
use.
Jump, shoot. All you need is 2. Move, left, right,
Teabag.
forward, back.
But you're not allowed. But you can't teabag. But you can't. You can't like. It wouldn't be easy for you to like create those brainwaves just to do that thing, you know? Because I think it's
Well, that's what I mean. How does it like? What if what?
It's like one's when you're concentrating, when you're focusing, when you're like.
You have to watch the video.
All these things like.
I'll
It's
put the
what
much
video.
more
information
complicated.
happens in your brain when you're like, I want to explode these aliens' fucking heads? Like, what is that? What does it mean?
I think you
like,
just
because
it's a
all about
concentration
shapes.
because when you you
Yeah.
concentrate on the point, it like your brain emits a certain wave, so that's probably what they use.
Because you've mapped it to the whenever you calibrate your
concentration.
brain.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty
I
Calibrate.
don't
simple.
understand.
you
Yeah,
calibrate.
you calibrate your brain with all these shapes and shit, and then it uses the shapes throughout the game to make you focus on stuff, and then you blow stuff up with your brain. There's other ones too.
Like the guy
other-
in remember the
demos.
guy from Accepted? Weird
Accepted,
guy.
yeah.
That's stupid.
Trying to blow shit up with his mind.
Yeah, and then
Wasn't that Harry from
No, it was
Resident
the guy
Alien?
who played Oswald Cobblepot or whatever, Penguin in the Gotham series, I think. Same kid,
Oh, okay.
No. It was a different guy.
wasn't it?
No, it was a different guy. He might have been in it
okay,
though.
Right.
It was some
Right.
long neck nerdy fucking guy.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
like-
Never mind.
Yeah, he was super. I can move things with my mind, or I can blow
Yeah,
things
yeah,
up with
yeah.
my mind.
Oh,
I'm like, okay.
no, he was in it. Sorry. Yeah, the Penguin was in it. He was a different
Yeah.
guy. He was just
Yeah.
super, like, paranoid.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
the next mind. So at OTT,
mind.
where I worked, Chris, my old boss, had given me a gaming headband, which was close to what this was. This was years ago, and
I
I put
remember
it
that.
on.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
and I put it on, and I was trying to play Doom, like a demo for Doom, and you had to like walk straight over this bridge without falling into the lava, and like shoot a couple of things and then go through a portal. And like walking down the bridge without falling into the lava was like the hardest thing ever. So you're just like staring at the screen, you're like trying to like trying to make your brain think you're walking, so it walks on the screen. It
I
was
don't
so
think
fun.
that's how it works though. Like
Yeah.
walk, you can't just think walk and you'll
Yes, and it
fucking
was like-
walk.
No, because you go through calibration. So it's like, okay, think of yourself walking, and then you're like,
Oh, okay.
okay, so that brainwave is me walking, right?
Right.
And it's like, okay, think about like whatever.
I'm
And then
trying to do it
puts you
right
through
now.
the demo. Yeah, so it puts you through the demo, and I could not make my guy walk, and I'd make him walk.
He's just
I'd make him
going
walk
like
a little bit.
he's just crouching. He's like, it's like no walk.
And then I'd walk a
Okay,
couple of steps,
that's
and then I'd go
teabag.
into the lava, and then
That's
into
the-
the lava. Like, fuck.
Wow.
That's the teabag brainwave.
See, it's funny because like it's a totally different way to experience gaming, and I feel like maybe one day I'll be ready for it, just like something new and super challenging compared to what we do now, right? Because I don't have that kind of
We're
fun
not there
when I
yet.
play games.
I watched another
push a
video
stick
on it.
forward
It's
and
not,
I walk.
It's not even close to being.
Yeah,
I
but
guess
one
so.
day it's gonna be
Like
the
I
new
saw
VR.
one guy was like, well, that Thrill Seeker guy on YouTube, he
Mhm.
had one, or he tried one out that it's just an add-on to you put it in your headset, like you said.
Mhm.
But all you can
It might be
do
this
with
one.
it, is the demo that the company sells with it, and that's all you can do with it. And it costs like $300-400 for what reason? Just to play this one
Yeah.
demo. And he said the
Well, it's just
demo
to
was
have,
like
a
you're
new
fighting
tech
a
toy.
dragon or something, and you have to like concentrate to create like a fireball to throw at this dragon. So if
See,
you're
that's
not
sick.
if you're not concentrating, like your ball doesn't get big enough to.
But
to
it
defeat
all
him.
starts.
But
It
that's
all
all you
starts
can do.
somewhere, right? It all starts somewhere. So maybe in 10, 15 years they'll have this implemented in games where you're a friggin' mage and you actually have to conjure your spells with your friggin' mind. Like that's sick. That's so sick. Like fireball, ice.
You shall not pass.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
fun.
that'd be fucking cool.
What's it called? Say it again. Next Mind?
The next mind. Yeah,
No, just one next. Next Mind.
next mind.
Okay.
Cool.
I have some nerd news. Who has nerd news?
I
Anybody?
have one nerd news. It's not gaming.
I have a
related,
nerd
though.
news and then a tech
Oh, tech
follow up,
news, I guess.
like a tech
Okay.
education. I have a nerd news
Well,
with a tech education follow up.
I can start with my lighthearted nerd news.
Go for it.
I found this article. This kind of blew my mind. Let's see what you guys think. But here's the scoop. This is from NintendoLife.com. Everybody remembers Pokemon Snap in the 90s on Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
There was a Pokemon Snap competition.
The game we thought
Yeah.
would be the next Pokemon game, but you couldn't catch Pokemon.
It was
right.
so
It wasn't the
was
game
fucking
we were
dumb.
looking for.
It was fucking dumb.
Yeah, it was fucking stupid.
Well, maybe this will change your mind. Okay, so there was a Pokemon Snap competition held in Japan in the late 90s when I guess the game was fresh, hot, and new, where contestants would submit their best snaps that they took in game of their favorite Pokemon, and the winners were awarded their snap photographs that they took as the image on an official custom Pokemon card, which I thought was cool. So that was the winning prize. Like if you won, they would put your picture that you took of whoever you loved, and they would put it on an official Pokemon card for you.
Custom stats?
I don't know. I don't know about the stats.
Just
they
some
didn't talk
OP
much about
card.
that in the article. Yeah. But what was cool is the winners were awarded 20 copies each of their winning card. So, of their unique design featuring their snap photo. And according to Nintendo Life, there were 10 unique cards total. So 10 winners. There were 10 winners total, and each of a different Pokemon, such as Pikachu and Bulbasaur, whoever else. So only the 10 winners were given the entire circulation of all of these cards. These are super rare cards now, obviously, because only 10 people on Earth were in possession of 20 each. And then you start thinking, like, what did they do with them? You know, these people just brought them home one day in the 90s, put them in a box, and like, put them in the attic, or they eBay or something. But not even back then, because nobody fucking cares. It's like a picture of your snap photo. Oh, okay. Why would anyone want to buy that then? Right? So, did they toss them during like a spring cleaning or something? Put them in the garage? So 200 cards total, 10 different unique custom official Pokemon cards, 20 copies each winner. So, we wonder where they were until now. One of them surfaced.
Oh.
One card?
One of these cards, one of these unique Pokemon Snap winning cards has surfaced and was auctioned for 5 million yen, which is $136,000 US dollars, let's say. And I don't know what, where that was auctioned, if it was eBay or something, whatever. But get this, the Pokemon, the winning card.
Magikarp.
Yeah. Obviously, it was Magikarp. Of all the Pokemon, it couldn't have been something cool like, Pikachu or whatever. Anybody else. It had to be Magikarp.
So the guy loved Magikarp so much that he took a fucking picture of it in Pokemon Snap. He's like, this is my favorite Pokemon.
They chose it as a winner, though. They chose the Magikarp as the winner, like Nintendo did.
So maybe Buddy just thought it was a good picture. Maybe he didn't like Magikarp all that much, but he took a picture. He was like, that's a cool picture. I'll submit that. Or he did love it. I don't know. But anyway, what a fucking pathetic Pokemon. I mean, I don't know much about I don't know if it's useful in any way. The Pokemon nerds out there might tell me otherwise.
It evolves into Gyarados, who's a mediocre dragon type
right.
Pokemon.
But
Dragon Water.
Anyway. So that was funny because one of these cards of 20, because this one person who won that had 20 copies, and one of them actually surfaced from God knows where and was auctioned for $136,000.
I bet all the people are fucking looking for him now. Where did I put winning my Pokemon Snap winning cards?
Like imagine being one of those 10 people, or I guess 9.
Gave it to their nephews who's like drooling and chewing on it and
all crumpled and
spitting on it,
ripped and torn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dogs
because
eating
now they're
it.
probably scattering. Man, I won one of those. I guess it's in Japan. They're all Japanese people, I'm assuming. Unless like somebody, unless it was like a universal thing or like an international thing. I don't know how that would have worked. But anyway, pretty wild. It blew my mind. I was like,
cool.
That's crazy. 200 cards total in the 90s, and one of them came to surface.
I have South Korean professor develops toilet that turns poop into power and cryptocurrencies.
Oh my God.
How sick is that? So
it's
Cho
sickening.
I don't know how to say his name. I'm just gonna call him Cho. South Korean urban and environmental engineer professor at the Ulsan National Institute of Science and Technology developed an eco-friendly toilet that pays students cryptocurrency and turns feces into fuel. So he installed these toilets at the university, and if you're a student, you can go take a huge dump in these toilets. Okay, fuel the water heaters at the school, the generators, whatever that can.
How?
Genius.
The gas produced by the system would later become an energy source for the building that could power a gas stove, hot water boiler, and a solid oxide fuel cell. Cho explained that a person on average defecates around 500 grams a day. This amount can
500
then
times
be
a day.
converted. 500. That's me. 500 times a day. This amount can be then converted to 50 liters of methane gas, which could generate 0.5 kilowatts per hour of electricity, or drive a vehicle for 1.2 kilometers, according to Hypebeast.
And
So
we're
the
only
students-
realizing this
Beast.
now.
Yeah, so the
Man, I
students
could
who
fuel
use
my whole
these
life.
toilets, exactly. Well, us, yeah, we're shitting all the time. Just imagine the
need to
cryptocurrency we
Eat
could
some
have.
ice cream. Eat some ice cream, and I
That's
would
it.
fucking fuel
Pizza and ice cream, yeah.
some shit.
So the students who use these toilets at the university can receive 10 honey coins, cryptocurrency per day. These can be used to buy coffees, noodle cups, fruits, and books on campus, so that you can go buy shit on campus. How sick is that?
Can I invest
be
in
You
shitting
should have
all
honeycombs?
day.
named it
I
something
should be-
to do with poo poo though, like the poo poo coin or something. Like that would have been funnier. Turd coin.
That is fucking funny. I would just be sitting there on the toilet all day, just
I'm
munching a
making
huge
money,
thing of ice
boys.
cream.
Just getting
Oh.
paid.
Disgusting.
Eating on the toilet.
Oh man, it's
Fuck,
fucking
that is
funny.
gross.
Just puking and eating and
Just
shitting.
eat.
And my
Your
my
shit.
bank account just going.
Yeah.
You're filling it
Eating
up
on the
with shit.
toilet, smelling your shit while eating. You're like,
Eating
that's
your
good.
own shit. You can just
Oh,
you
man.
just
Worth it.
you evolve and graduate just to eating your own shit and then shitting it out and then
That's a cryptocurrency I can get behind.
It's like it doubles
I
the
can put my
methane or
behind-
something.
it triples the methane by eating your
Triples
own
the methane,
shit.
so you make more money. Oh my god,
Disgusting.
that's a very
That's
Nathaniel.
my-
That's a very nasty nerd news
That's a
Topic.
nerd news. Yeah,
Nasty news. Nasty
Fuck,
news.
it's funny.
corner. Nasty news corner.
Mine isn't nearly as nasty, but
Yikes.
we have very new as of like yesterday or the day before, which is Friday or Thursday at the time of this recording. Samsung has posted their QD OLED models on their site with prices. So this is the new Samsung QD OLED S95B. $3,000 for a 65-inch USD. So that's way cheaper than
That's not bad.
everyone thought. Everyone thought it was going to be like $6,500, $7,000 American. $3,000. Okay. But it doesn't have Dolby Vision. No Dolby Vision, which some people are kind of balking at because Sony did include it on theirs,
Mm-hmm.
their QD OLED, which is $1,000 more expensive. But Samsung doesn't use Dolby Vision on any of their models across any line. No Dolby Vision from Samsung. They say, "Oh, our tone mapping is good enough. Like their processing is good enough so that the HDR10 is fine." But you could say, what does that mean? You know, what does that mean? No Dolby Vision. Well, Daniel, you were talking about HDR, right?
Okay.
Dolby Vision is an HDR standard. HDR is obviously a feature on modern TVs that enhances the contrast, right? It makes a wider range of contrast between darkest dark and brightest light. So the normal kind of HDR that is more widely used is HDR10, which is like an open source, free to use. So all the content creators can use this without paying a fee or anything like that, right? And it uses a 10-bit color which supports 1.07 billion colors. So that's what HDR is. It's that wider range of contrast, and you get access to these more colors because of that. Dolby Vision is owned by Dolby, obviously, and they charge you a license fee to use it.
Of course. Yep.
So that's the reason probably why not a lot of content uses it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have to pay a fee, and then they have to do extra post-processing on the, you know, at the studio. It's a format that they designed for the future because it supports up to 12-bit color, 68 billion colors, and targets a peak of 4,000 nits, and it can support up to 10,000 nits. So like, it's just a future kind of proof thing. Obviously, no TV right now uses any of that really right up to the full potential of Dolby Vision. It's just because right now we only have 10-bit panels, right? No, there's no 12-bit panels.
Mm-hmm.
So they're only using that 10-bit anyway. And like Dolby Vision, if it was designed for a target of, you know, 4,000 nits, there's no TV that's doing 4,000 nits right now either.
No.
However, that being said, it doesn't mean it's useless to have it on your TV, because what it does is it helps HDR look better. It's called dynamic HDR. So dynamic HDR, another term that's just like, what the fuck does that mean? That's like
HDR is supposed to be dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. That's in the name. Like, whereas HDR10, the ones that's more widely used is a static HDR, which means there's only one set of instructions for the TV, one set of metadata for the whole movie or the whole episode or the whole whatever.
Oh, okay.
So it gives it the information that it needs for the darkest part and the brightest highlight in the movie. It knows those 2 points, and the TV has to use its processing to just make it work throughout the whole movie. No matter what, if it's a dark scene or if it's a super bright scene, you know, you're obviously going to have different types of scenes in the movie. And because of the static HDR, it kind of becomes inconsistent from scene to scene, because if you have super dark scenes in the movie, they're supposed to be processed a certain way, but then you jump to a scene that's really bright, that's going to be processed a different way. Whereas the Dolby Vision will allow for that. With the static HDR, you might get, you know, black levels that you lose detail in. It'll be too black, or highlights that you lose detail in, and it's kind of washed out and clipped, and you don't see any details, because it only knows the brightest and the darkest that it's supposed to be at any given point across the whole movie, right? And it's only
normal
has
HDR.
Yeah.
That's normal static HDR. So is dynamic HDR? So we're talking about dynamic, high dynamic range.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say. I was like, what? Dynamic HDR, dynamic high
so is it
dynamic
adaptive?
range.
It changes as it goes. Is that how that works?
It allows for more control of the HDR metadata that they use to grade the movie. So it can be applied as far down to the frame by frame. It can be applied to.
Wow.
So if you have a dark scene, they can apply the grade to that scene only, give it a metadata for only that scene, and move on to the next scene. If it's a brighter scene, they have a new set of metadata for the HDR, for the grading.
Oh, I see.
So it just becomes more consistent, and it's not a single set of instructions.
This is Dolby Vision. Dolby Vision has dynamic HDR.
Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus. HDR10 Plus is supposed to be dynamic, but I don't think it works as well.
Because I think I noticed that in Spider-Man. Like, the HDR in Spider-Man was awesome.
Did it have Dolby Vision?
Awesome. I'm pretty sure it does. Like, the lightning and the spells during that fight. Oh my God. It was blinding me.
It was good. Yeah,
It
I
was
watched
sick.
it in 4K. It was good. Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice watch in HDR for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Dolby Vision, frame by frame, scene by scene, they can get that extra control over the HDR. But this is all reliant on the studio and the effort that they put in to grading it and to that post processing, right? So there's obviously much more to it than what I just went over, but they don't have Dolby Vision on the QD OLED Samsung. If you want to know more, my boy Stomp the FOMO on YouTube has a full version of video about like Dolby Vision versus Samsung, I think is what it was called, and he explains a lot of this stuff pretty well. So what I would be interested in seeing is I want to see the QD OLED Samsung without Dolby Vision using HDR10, let's say,
versus
not the Sony, but versus a cheaper, like the new LG model, maybe the LG C2 or G2 using Dolby Vision. I want to see if the QD OLED without Dolby Vision looks as good as the non-QD OLED with Dolby Vision.
It should look better, no?
I guess it would depend on the content, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tough to say.
It all depends on, it's just like what game developers do, right?
Do I want to get, would I spend that much money without, and not to get Dolby Vision? Instead of getting like the LG, which will have Dolby Vision? It just won't be QD OLED?
You guys, you said, we'll bring it back to you saying that it depends how much effort these studios are going to be putting into their post, right? Their post-processing or whatever. Now, that makes me think, are they going to start it so that a new type of visual medium is going to come out? Like, how there's Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, where it'll only be this exclusive version of the movie where they did put in that effort and it's compatible with Dolby and it's like called something, whatever. So that
no, because you can put it on
another.
No, you can put it on
Dolby
it's just
UHD.
You can put
HDR.
it on 4K. It's on 4K UHD Blu-rays.
Yeah.
It's just like a color grade. They have to.
Maybe it'll say it on the box or something. Dolby Vision compatible or something.
It does say on the box.
You'll get the full.
Yeah, it does say.
You'll get the full.
But even like Disney
experience
Plus and everything, they're streaming.
Yep.
Some stuff is in Dolby Vision, and apparently The Mandalorian looks way better in Dolby Vision than it does in regular
really?
HDR on Disney
that show
Plus.
Looks fucking good too. Normally, that show looks great.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. So I don't know if I would get that. I don't know.
Tight.
Like, is Dolby Vision a deal breaker? I don't know. Like, I don't have it on my TV right now. Am I really gonna notice? But if I'm spending fucking $3,000 US,
do I have it on my TV?
like, I want Dolby Vision. Yeah, you probably do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want Dolby Vision. I want the maximum potential of my TV to be, to be available.
I want Dolby Vision.
Yeah. Down. Fill my eyes.
I don't know. Does mine?
With that
Does
Dolby
mine have Dolby
Vision? No, yours would not have Dolby Vision.
No.
But I'm
It's
just
a
saying. So now I'm
$1,200 TV.
torn. It's going to be, guys, I'm getting a new fucking
Yeah,
TV.
mine does.
Next month, they're coming out, I'm pretty sure, next month. But it's between 4. The LG C2, which would probably be the cheapest one. The LG G2, which is the next one up from that. Or the Samsung QD OLED without Dolby Vision. Or the Sony QD OLED, which will have Dolby Vision. Because the LG G2 is probably going to be the same price as the Samsung QD OLED. So if it has Dolby Vision, and this is the LG's flagship OLED, why wouldn't I just get that one instead of the QD? Are the colors going to be that much better in the QD OLED?
Apparently they are.
Even on HDR10? Yeah, I guess, yeah. But even on HDR10, but he was looking at the Samsung. They could have had, or the Sony, they could have had fucking Dolby Vision turned on. You know what I mean? In the demo that he used.
You gotta wait for those reviews.
I want to see, it's HDR10. Is it going to be so good that I don't care about Dolby Vision because the QD OLED makes up for it in just the color volume and everything like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, with something so expensive, how do you know until you see it? And like, it's not like you could just go buy these fucking things and compare. Like, you've got to wait for these tech dudes to do reviews and put these videos out and show you like accurate representations of these things. That's tough.
I love seeing that fucking side by side, like the Stop the FOMO on YouTube. He had 4 TVs and he's like, this is with HDR10 on. This is the same exact scene on the same TV with Dolby Vision on. And it shows you the difference. And some of the TVs, like the TCL 6 series, even with HDR10 on, it almost looked as good as the Dolby Vision on like the old, like one of the other ones that he was, because their tone mapping is better. So like the Samsung could do it very well, and maybe that's what Samsung claims they don't need Dolby Vision, so they don't put it on any of their stuff.
They don't want to pay the fee, the licensing.
But it's going to be really good for gaming, the QD OLED. It's going to have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports with 144 hertz refresh rate, and VRR. So it's going to be really good for gaming.
You could put your PC right to it.
Yeah.
Fuck, that'd
Wow.
be sweet.
Exciting
Let me see.
things.
Yeah.
Exciting things in the future.
This is what I'm thinking about in the next month. Because I think
Cool.
Amazon had a price leak on the, a release date leak on the Samsung, and it was April 11th. And I think they took it down. So it was like a leak.
Cool.
Cool.
We will find out. We shall see. And then you'll have to tell me, and then tell me what to buy. Well, shall we conclude this episode with a little discussion of Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yes.
In
but
which
first,
case, you might want to turn.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
Spoiler alert!
spoilers
This
are coming
video.
up. So
Yeah.
turn this off or pause it and go
If
watch
you
the
don't want to
movie
hear
and then
anything
come
about
back.
Spider-Man No Way Home, turn this podcast off right now.
Right now. Right now. We're going to give you some time to turn it off. But
No time. You can
definitely
pause.
go
You
watch
have all
that.
this time. All right.
Now, Daniel, you said after you watched it that it was very special,
I did.
in your opinion.
It was. It was very
I
special.
was just like,
It was awesome. It was, I think,
I-
one of the best movies I've ever seen.
yeah, it was fucking.
It hit a good spot, man.
But
yeah, and I got a couple
it's
points,
because
though, about that.
we're talking about games, nostalgia.
Yes.
Nostalgia.
Is that why we think that it's one of the best movies? Does that
Probably.
make it any less valid?
Not to some
I'll tell you
loser
this.
critic.
I remember in high school, I skipped an afternoon in high school to go see Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. We went to fucking theater. My friend had his license. We were like 17. And it was awesome. And we loved it, even though that movie is horrible. But it's
Yeah. It's
It was
awesome.
sweet at the time. I'm a
was
huge
great.
Spider-Man fan, obviously. I love the games. I love the comics. I've
Mhm.
read, 800 Spider-Man comics. I've
True.
played all the games, watched all the movies. But like this brought Tobey
They
Maguire
all
back.
Yeah.
Bringing Willem Dafoe.
Drew Garfield. Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, I'm just like, and it
Alfred
acknowledges
Molina.
it
as
acknowledges
Dr.
the
Octopus.
memes too, though. The memes
Yeah.
and the fan service was so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Tobey Maguire, like his back thing,
His
like,
back. Wow. Yeah.
Oh.
that got me good. That got me good.
Fuck.
so much good shit.
For me, yeah. It rivaled the same feeling I got when I watched Into the Spider-Verse, because I was like, I don't know what I like better. I think I still like Spider-Verse better just because of what it is. But
Eh.
but there was something about when I watched this movie, I was like, oh, like it's got the same energy, scale, the excitement as Into the Spider-Verse did, when like everything's just fucking wacky and fucked up, and you're just like, this is crazy. But it was awesome.
sweet.
It was awesome
And you
because
got
like
Jamie Foxx and
Jamie
like
Foxx,
just
yeah.
and it made everything come together and
Yeah.
make sense because of the multiverse.
Right, which had me thinking. I loved how, because of the whole Sony and Marvel dick measuring, fucking up, sabotaging all these different actors' versions and their stories and timelines and all this crap. It was nice that we finally got some closure and consistency in their stories,
Yep.
just kind of, because Marvel kind of picked up the pieces of at least Toby and Andrew Garfield, and we're like,
I really
okay,
like
here,
Andrew
we'll put them all
Garfield.
in one
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, me
He
too.
was really good.
He's great.
Really good. And
It's
Like
they-
I have
they-
some.
when he saved Mary Jane,
Okay. Yeah.
did you notice
like,
that? Did you notice what happened?
I have a whole bunch of things here, but
Uh-oh.
the one that really took the cake for me was when Garfield saved MJ.
Yeah.
Alma and I almost fucking cried at that point.
Yeah.
It was
Really
so
good.
close, man, because he needed that win, right?
Yes,
we
he
were
did.
waiting for that redemption for years, that unsolved story of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans, right? How he
His
must
biggest
have
failure.
his
that was
failure,
his
right?
biggest
That
And
was
that
his
was it.
failure. That was his failure. No, that's what. Yeah.
Right.
And
And And it just
he
ended
got to
there.
save
And
her.
since that movie, like we've been just wondering about what the hell Andrew Garfield's been up to in that.
He's been
Will they
standing
ever
on the,
make?
standing at those tombstones, man. He's been standing
Right.
in the cemetery
Like
the whole time.
that was
That's it.
so powerful. And then whenever he catches her, and he lands, and you see it in his eyes, right? You see that redemption
she's
and
like,
that win in his eyes, and he realized he
okay?
did it, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
beautiful.
so powerful, that part of that movie. I was blown away at that part. That was the
Same.
peak.
Same.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unfucking believable.
Same here. Yeah, that was really fucking good.
Because I
Really
remember
good.
when watching the Andrew Garfield in the theater, and he doesn't save her, right? He doesn't save Gwen.
That's
That
how she
fucking
dies.
sucks, man.
That's how.
Yeah, I was heartbroken.
Although
sad.
in the comics it was Green Goblin who did it, but in Andrew
Well,
Garfield's
technically,
Spider-Man
It was Green Goblin.
It was Harry, which
It was like,
technically
oh,
Green
yeah.
Goblin.
Oh, was it? Man, I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
Oh man,
He
and
like-
his movies were pretty. Like I really liked his movies.
Oh no, but it was that guy
too.
from that Chronicle movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
okay.
fantastic. Also, I
Yeah, he
don't
was
remember his name, but he's fantastic.
Yeah, he was good.
He's great.
But
Okay.
that
Right.
that part
Yeah.
just sealed it all with a big
Yeah, it was
hug.
beautiful.
You know,
Or when they meet
was
him on the
awesome.
rooftop, of the
Yeah.
school, when he sees them. Ah man, such a good dynamic
Harry-
too, between all of them.
And Harry's talking about it was great. Actually, I like that scene too because Harry was Andrew Garfield's Peter was talking about how he didn't want Tom Holland Peter
to go on
to
the
go
fucking,
rage and start or
Yeah.
stop pulling his punches and just kind of
Mhm.
go ape shit on everybody because he didn't want that same thing to happen to him because it was coming back to the whole Gwen thing because that's what he did after. That was also Nathaniel, him implying that's what happened after
Yeah.
Gwen.
Yeah, they
died
closed
was
it
that
all
he
up
just
for us.
started-
It was awesome.
He started raging and just kind of angry all the time and just, taking it out on people and shit like that. So that was good.
Oops.
It was great.
Butterfingers.
And I loved how Doc Ock turned good. I love that.
That was
chip
nice.
got fixed. Oh,
That was
because
nice.
he's a good.
Nice
Like
redemption.
they're all pretty good guys, right? Like before they turn evil.
Norman
or
definitely
whatever.
wasn't though. There was something in Norman that I think was like
because he's a
always
fucking
that's what-
billionaire and he's
Yeah,
a
he's a
sociopath.
fucked
yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all
Whereas
billionaires.
Otto was just a scientist trying to make
Yeah.
something good in the world, right?
I mean,
the power of the
he
sun.
was somewhat
the
of
palm
a
of my hands.
scientist himself.
Fuck, that was good.
He tried to build a sun in his living room, man. That was what he wanted to do, just to feel the world.
The power of
Um,
the sun in
yeah.
my hands.
Another point
You're
I
not
had
Peter.
was
Yeah.
yeah. Whenever he's like, "You're not Peter," I was like, "Fuck, that's good." But like
that's cool.
in
Just
this movie,
overall enjoyable.
I found like the Andrew Garfield love story was good. The Tobey Maguire, Christian Dunst was brutal. It was awful.
Christian Dunst.
Christian Dunst.
Whatever her name is.
I don't remember her name. Kristen? Is it Kristen?
Kirsten.
But the way they did
But
the whole MJ
The
thing
way
with
they
Peter was
did
beautiful.
MJ and Peter in this movie was great.
Mhm.
She wasn't like super annoying, in like the first two movies where she's put up that wall, that like tough girl
Oh,
wall.
she's terrible. She was
I know,
terrible in Spider-Man
I
2.
know. I know. Yeah, I know. But this one, it was so much better. I liked how they did this because you actually felt that connection between them in this one than the previous two, which made that Garfield scene saving her even more powerful. Was because of that connection Peter had with MJ. The Tom Holland Peter with the MJ that we know, the Jones.
Yeah.
That connection made the Garfield save even better, in my opinion. And
Reinforced.
that was so sick. And Willem Dafoe was absolutely fucking brilliant in this movie. Like,
Attaboy.
I was like, don't trust this motherfucker. Like,
Yeah,
this
I
guy's
knew it was too
fucking
good. I was like,
insane.
he's not just some fucking cripple coming
I
off
know.
the street eating donuts at
Yeah, he's like
Aunt
packing donuts
May's.
into his
Yeah.
pockets.
Yeah.
But that's what shows like the whole
Osborne?
on and off, right, of Osborn and Green Goblin. Is he doesn't
That's true.
remember, right? He doesn't know
That's true.
the Green Goblin.
He technically
side. He's
isn't.
not.
Yeah, he isn't one person. He's two
He's
people.
two completely
that
separate entities.
The Goblin takes over,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Kind
that
of
is
like
true.
what Venom
so he's not,
is in.
yeah, he's not
Yeah.
all bad, I guess.
Right. No, he's not really.
The
Until
Goblin
Green
made me
Goblin
do
just.
it.
Yeah.
It was the
God,
Goblin.
he's so good. He's so and just his face, like when they zoom in on his face and he's got the goblin in him.
Just
Wasn't
his
he
eyes,
like
man, it's so
scaring
fucking
people on
sick.
set or something like that?
I don't know. I
man.
didn't read that.
I thought, who did I hear?
I was
that from?
getting chills whenever he turned to goblin and turned back and forth. Like it was perfect. It was beautifully done. It was so good. He's
And then
fantastic.
there was a couple of good Easter eggs, like fan service, like with Jamie Foxx. And between Jamie Foxx and Andrew Garfield, he was like, when he takes off his mask, he's like, "It's you." He's like, "You from Queens? You saved a lot of poor people." He's like, "I just always thought you was black, man." He's like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry." It's like,
Yeah.
there's got to be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere, right?
Yes,
exactly.
the Miles Morales
It's a
one. Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
Which,
that was
Easter
which
great.
brings me
Miles
to another
Morales.
question: are they going to make like a real life Spider-Man with Miles, or are they just going to keep
live
him a
action?
cartoon?
I don't know.
They probably will.
Yeah, they probably will. I would imagine.
I think that would be sick because we've
That'd be cool.
Because there's
we've
so
been
many like
introduced
phases
into
coming
that.
out of the
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
Like they might even like if Tom Holland doesn't want to do Spider-Man anymore, or they write him out, they bring in
Mhm.
Miles Morales.
Well, because everything's got to end at some point. I don't know when.
I think they ended it pretty good. Like at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
Tom didn't want to try to make her remember, right? So
Yeah,
I think
That's
that was it.
true. Because he told her he would tell her.
And now he's got to live with
would,
that for the rest of his life, right? So now
and
he's
just
only
saw
living that one life. He's not going to live Peter's life.
technically,
Remember how-
this in the comics is where I started reading. Now,
Oh, really?
because in the
because
comic
MJ's
books,
memory was wiped.
in the comic books, their memory was taken by Mephisto because Aunt May got shot. She got a gunshot wound or something, and Mephisto offered Peter a deal. And Mephisto is like the devil, right?
The devil. The
And
devil.
he offered Peter and Mary Jane a deal, saying, "I will save Aunt May's life if you sacrifice your memories and your relationship together." So Mary Jane and Peter would no longer be; they wouldn't have any memory of their love, basically. And they agreed, and they basically remembered only that that Spider-Man or Peter didn't show up to the wedding. Like he left her basically at the altar, is how that Mephisto changed their memories. So they're completely split up. Yeah. And they don't remember ever really their whole time together kind of thing. Yeah. Like their whole like relationship kind of didn't really exist anymore. And that gave Spider-Man a fresh start, and it was called Brand New Day. And that's when I started reading, which is Amazing Spider-Man like 546 or something. And it was so fucking good because he was like a single bachelor as Spider-Man in New York. And that's when he kind of like, flirting around with with Black Cat, and there was a lot of good
Felicia.
Yeah, there was a lot of good like single bachelor moments throughout that story arc, and that leads into Big Time, which is when he kind of like starts his own company. He starts getting like becoming successful. Spider-Man is like Peter Parker's been a fucking loser for how long? Like he's been a poor loser who can barely afford rent, selling pictures of himself to the Daily Bugle. But in Big Time, he becomes successful, and he becomes more like Tony Stark. He becomes rich because he has a company, and that leads into Spider-Verse and Superior Spider-Man with where Dr. Octopus becomes Spider-Man by taking over Peter Parker's body.
yeah.
But super good.
So back to the movie is when Doctor Strange tells him, he's like, "You're trying to live those two lives, right?" And that's what's like ripping you apart here. So whenever he decides not to tell Mary Jane or try to convince her,
he was thinking,
then he chooses the one life, right? Which is just Spider-Man, because he's forgotten everywhere else. Everyone else doesn't know Peter Parker exists. He is now just Spider-Man to do Spider-Man things. And now he knows that if he gets connected to anybody,
sad
oh yeah.
That's what the
if he gets
dilemma
connected
is
to
between
anybody,
all superheroes. and that's why they have secret identities.
Yeah,
True.
that was really, really sick. But
Because I guess
you know,
he saw that MJ.
I don't know if I would
and,
even make that choice. Like being Spider-Man would be amazing, right? But like she could have just been a high school love, right? You know, he
Yes,
could
of
find
course.
some. So,
But like he saw how well MJ and Ned were doing, like they got into MIT, I think, right? And he was like, "See, that didn't happen because I knew them."
Mhm.
Because you'd have to remember, you have to think about like how would he relive that? How would he go back up to MJ and try to win her
you
back
can't.
and because he knows all these things about her, so he'd be manipulating her
He
emotions.
started off
and
pretty
it'd be
good though in the
weird.
coffee shop there. I think he did okay.
He did
And, you know,
okay.
I was wondering. Remember how in Interstellar, right, where she says love transcends space and time. Remember that whole scene? I was just wondering, like, what if they pull that love card out and
From
their
Interstellar?
love transcends space and time, and she makes that connection. That's what I thought when she saw him. I was like, oh, and that like connection just happened because love has
Man,
that
there's
power.
a really good scene. There's a really good
That would
scene
be
in the
sick.
comics. In the comics, there's a really fucking good scene because everyone does forget that this does happen in the comics where I don't remember if it's Doctor Strange. I think it is who does the spell to make everyone forget Peter is Spider-Man. And the Black Cat, Felicia, becomes really weird. Like she becomes a different kind of person, and she becomes kind of a bad guy. And
because something was ripped from her.
yes, because she has feelings for Peter, and they
And it softened
disappeared.
her up a bit. Right.
And it disappeared, but there was like she was something missing, and she became like a real villain, and like she wanted to kill fucking Spider-Man. She didn't know didn't remember who he was, right? But there was a scene where he was with her, and he took his mask off, and it brought everything back to her, and it was a really good scene. And she like started crying. She was like, yeah, she realized what the hell was happening, and he explained it, and it was like something was missing inside her, and she couldn't figure it out, and like it made her insane. And then when he took off his mask for her, it like
yeah, that's cool.
brought
See,
everything back.
I was hoping for something like that to happen at the coffee shop, but
Man,
you know, I like how they ended it as well,
good, dude. The comics are so goddamn good.
I like how they ended the movie. It was pretty good.
It's a good point because there's a lot of talk like that's not bullshit. I mean, in a sense that, you know, it's a very widely, I think, studied, probably, if you look it up. I don't know. I'm not a scholar, but there's that notion of energy, right? These things that connect two people through
quantum entanglement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that is in essence the simple word is love, right? That's what Interstellar was.
So that's
talking
what she was
about.
talking about. Yeah,
this energy that connects these two people beyond dimensions, where it's like because you're emotionally invested and you've had and
it's
it
that
may
soul
be
link, that energy link that we have above
fate,
all that kind of stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I really like Doctor Strange in it too. Really good.
His movies are great.
The only thing I had with it was there was too many parts that were comic relief. I found like there was a little too many. They could have cut a few just to like bring down the time of the movie.
I like the comic relief though.
Yeah, but I like it to a certain point.
Oh, I mean, Ned is not funny at all. Like his friend Ned.
Yeah,
not
like
funny
just
at
cut
all.
him out of the movie.
Cut him out. Cut that guy out.
Like he's just
And then they show the final scene, and it's just some dude at the cafe he's like staring at, and it's just like, who the fuck is that guy?
You know, it's funny. Ned Leeds in the comics is the Hobgoblin.
Oh,
so
yeah?
in another universe, Ned
wow.
Leeds is Peter's friend, but he becomes the Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin's fucked.
And there was also an Easter egg of that. He was like, "Oh, I wonder if there's a
I saw
other
that too.
Ned
Yep.
Leeds, or I wonder if there's another me in
Oh,
other
yeah,
universes."
yeah.
Yes,
I
there
remember
is. And
hearing
he's the
that.
fucking Hobgoblin.
Electro, I found, was weird with the comic relief because it was like
Yeah.
he supplied
That's
some of
weird.
it, and it was just strange because we didn't see Jamie Foxx as Electro as the middle. You know, we saw him as the awkward engineer that he was, that really socially awkward, like skittish.
And then the
you know?
energy being.
And then the energy thing, where he didn't have a lot of lines. He was just a villain, and he was screaming a lot of the time and just shooting He didn't talk a lot. And then there's this weird Jamie Foxx character in this new movie where he is neither of those, and he's in the middle, and he's just a normal dude who's like maybe got more confidence, but he's not quite the skittish, nerdy, and engineer he was, because he's got these powers or has had them and experienced them. So he's a lot more buff. He's a lot more, confident.
he was
Whatever.
funny.
So that was weird. But he was funny. It's just, it was weird because we didn't see that side of him in any other movie. So it was almost like, was it out of left field or did it make sense? But I feel like he was there a lot for some like quips, like one-off comic relief lines.
I loved it.
That was
I
good.
loved it.
Yeah.
The post credits.
Oh yeah, post credits. So I'm not a big fan of the whole Sony Venom. Like the first movie was. I don't even. I'm gonna watch the second one.
yes,
It's
the
probably gonna be
post-credits.
fucking shit.
I don't think you need to watch it. You don't need to watch anything. The
No, I'm just
doesn't
gonna
have
watch
anything to
the.
do with it. All
I'm
it
gonna
did
watch the
was
second
plant,
Venom movie
because they sent him
symbiote.
home, right? It planted the
Yeah.
symbiote in
For
the
Peter.
MCU.
Yes.
That's what it did.
So that's telling us that Sony is willing to work with Spider-Man and Marvel to get that wrapping up.
They're
Did they
already
work
doing
with-
that.
Did they work with Venom, Marvel,
No.
and Sony? No. So that's what I mean. So it's Sony saying, okay, here's the symbiote. Let's work together to make a good Venom movie. You know what I mean? Instead of these two stupid, shitty Venom
I
movies.
wonder if is there going to be a new Eddie Brock? Is the Eddie Brock from that universe is going to get
It's
this
Topher
symbiote?
Grace.
No, it's not.
No.
It's because that's from Toby's universe.
Yeah, but it
Who's
has
the
to
Eddie
hit.
Brock
Oh,
in
yeah,
Tom
right,
Holland's
right.
universe.
Yeah, but it's got to
We don't
hit
know.
Tom Holland first, though. No, like the symbiote's got to take over Spider-Man first,
They can do whatever
then
the
go
hell
to
they want.
then go to Eddie Brock. But they can, yeah, I
Doesn't
guess
have
they can
to.
do whatever they want.
Man,
Hopefully,
Tom Hardy
Marvel and
is-
Sony work together to get a good Venom happening.
Tom Hardy's fantastic. Doesn't matter what he does. I liked Venom, the first one. I didn't see the second one, but I liked it because of him, and that's good. That's a good thing because at least he can carry the movie. It was good entertainment. I mean, it wasn't as good
I
as
just hate the
some of the other
stupid Venom
Spider-Man we
voice.
watched.
Like I hate all this stupid shit.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's dumb. Oh, there was one more. I had another note. The death of Aunt May in Tom Holland's universe. Like it had
That
to
was
happen,
hard.
right?
That was tough.
It had
He
to
needed
happen.
a
sooner or
loss.
later. He needed that loss, yeah.
Because he
And
didn't have
it
an
was-
Uncle Ben.
He didn't have an Uncle Ben. It was his Uncle Ben moment. The other two had their Uncle Ben, and Tom Holland had to
Andrew
have that
Garfield
loss.
had an Uncle Ben and a Gwen moment. Like he was.
He was fucked, man. He got
Suffered
fucked.
loss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's why it was so powerful.
Yes,
For him.
another reason why. Fuck, yep. Oh, and he killed Gwen's dad
Yes.
in
he did.
inadvertently, but he
Indirectly.
was
I
the
don't remember.
Well,
the
he didn't
reason
kill
why.
him, but he
left.
happened to go with him
He had
Yeah.
to
to
leave, didn't
kill Connors or to take out Connors, but Connors ended up killing him. But the thing is,
Yeah, but he
told
could have
Peter to
webbed-
promise.
No, he could have webbed him to a wall somewhere and went after Connors and fucking self. He didn't have to bring her dad with
No,
him.
but Peter was occupied. Peter was doing something. He was trying to do something, and then her dad, for some reason, was there.
Yeah.
He showed
'Cause he's a
up,
cop.
I think,
'Cause
and he
he's a
was
cop.
like, "Why are you here?" I think that's what ended up happening. Yeah, because he's a
Cops should not be fighting mutants. Okay?
cop.
He should fucking know that.
They don't know. No, but they don't know. They're like, "Oh, shotgun will do it. 12 gauge, that'll do it."
Hey, Bob, get the fucking 12 gauge here, Bob.
But
But
he also
one, though,
promised
right?
Gwen's dad that he would
Exactly.
stay away from her. And that was also pretty brutal because he just couldn't keep it. And he was so torn up about it.
Mhm.
You know,
He had a
dude,
rough time.
He
had a rough
was hot and
Spider-Man.
cold.
He's a good character. He was a
And-
good character.
Yeah,
yeah,
he was. I
that's
good
why
enjoyed
they were
development.
great movies.
And
They
it
were
all
good
tied
Spider-Man movies.
in this latest one, and it was fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I might have
really
to watch it
was.
again.
The lightning during the fight scenes with Shocker and all that, like the blacks were so black that the light was blasting me, man. Like the flashes, I was like, "This is awesome. This is fucking sick." And I was just like,
That's That's what
It was
OLED is, man.
awesome.
That's why OLED is so sick.
Blinding me. It was essentially blinding me. Like that's how bright the lights were, and it was like
Specular highlights.
It was fucking awesome. It was sick.
That's a wrap, folks.
It's a wrap.
Good discussion today, I feel. But
Yeah, it was good. Covered a lot of
we say?
ground.
So, for our listeners, what are your thoughts on this pay-to-win update, Gran Turismo? They're forcing you to basically buy in-game credits to win online races. It's happened across multiple games. It's not the only game that's pay-to-win. There are pay-to-win games.
And is that the way games are going? Do you guys think that that's the way games are going? Let us know.
Are you getting the best movie watching experience at home? Have you experienced real HDR? And finally, did you see Spider-Man? I hope you did and avoided the
Did we spoil it?
The spoilers. Yeah. But what do you think about that? Let us know. Comment, like, subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Tell your friends. Peace.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching.